Hey there, horror fiends. James J. Coker here with a new episode of Hidden Horrors. Being that it's Cinco de Mayo, or possibly that Saturday after Cinco de Mayo, I don't know, whenever I upload this, I thought maybe it's time I will plug a Mexican-made horror film, everybody. Now, I know some of you more jaded horror fans are gonna, when you think of Mexican horror movies, you think of the bad 60s and 70s luchador wrestler versus Aztec mummy or robot or whatever. But I would like to shed some light on, in 1975, there was another Mexican horror movie that is arguably one of the best Mexican horror movies ever made, and that is 1975's Alucarda. Alucarda concerns a Catholic all-girls orphanage in the 1800s Mexico that just gets a new girl in named Justine. Justine immediately befriends a mysterious, lonely, rather shy girl named Alucarda that dresses in all black. Alucarda immediately confesses her love for Justine right there on the spot. I don't know why. You got to apply dream logic into this movie, folks. They immediately go into the rules and prance around as if it's some fairy tale movie. That's where they meet a group of gypsies, and then meet a hairy, ugly gypsy man that kind of creeps them out and tries to sell them charms and trinkets to ward off evil spirits. It's there that they discover an old tomb. They open up a grave site, and all of a sudden they unleash some type of satanic force that screams and drives them to terror. When they get back, strange things start to happen, and all of a sudden they start converting themselves to Satanism, with the hairy, ugly gypsy man coming out of nowhere. Literally, he just comes out of this corner of the room, and it was like, what the fuck was he doing there the whole time? Comes out of the room, and they make their pact with Satan and their love for each other. The movie immediately delves into this weird, naked, satanic cult prancing thing with the satanic man wearing a mask. Then the girls confess their love of Satan in front of the convent. Oh, might I ask that the nuns in this orphanage all look like mummies for some reason? I don't know. But they confess their pact for Satanism, and then one of the girls ends up being tortured by the priest with the nuns, so you have that themes of Catholic oppression and medieval devices. Might I add, there's also a really good scene where the priest is talking about the fires of hell, and all the girls in the whole orphanage are crying, screaming that they don't want to go to hell. So you have those themes of anti-Catholicism and Christian oppression, if you will. But the movie then takes an even more radical turn by having one of the girls' corpses come back to life all covered in blood and screaming, ripping off one of the nuns' necks out, all the while being burnt to death with holy water. Then you have a charred, mangled nuns coming back to life, only to get her head cut off and blood spurting out. And then finally, the movie ends with Alucarda getting her revenge by going all fucking fire starter on the orphanage, making nuns and girls burn like crazy. Now, what I love about this movie is that it takes its rather Catholic imagery and then flips it into a sort of these are the bad guys kind of a way, whereas it almost puts some light on Satanism in a way, almost as if the Satanism represents freedom and love and life, and the Catholicism comes in there and tries to oppress it. So you have those anti-religious themes in the movie, but I also love how the film also has a fairy tale dreamlike quality to it. Why are the nuns looking like mummies? Why are the girls all of a sudden loving each other and they just met? Who knows? You're just watching a beautiful, dreamlike, satanic film, if you will. There's also hints of gothicism in the movie, too, with the candlelight and the organ music playing. So it's like this Mexican, faint lesbianism, satanic, fairy tale gothic movie that more people should seek out and more people should just fucking love this movie. Because for me, It's one of the best Mexican horror movies ever made. And also, 1974, Cemetery de la Terror, Grave Robbers, a few other good ones, good Mexican horror movies that are out there. Also, one more thing I'd like to add about this movie is, not only is there a fair amount of blood in this satanic little film, but this movie has a fuckload of women screaming in the movie. Seriously, so many women scream in this movie. Even the main girls just all of a sudden start screaming and waving their arms around and brushing their hair around while screaming for no reason, and they just start going crazy, and you're sitting there going, what the fuck is going on? Seriously, there's a lot of screaming in this movie.
Easy girl.
So if you can handle that, I say check out this wonderful, wonderful piece of Mexican cinema, and you won't regret it, especially if you like sprinkles of Satanism with your horror. This is James J. Coker, and I hope you guys enjoyed this review video.